Welcome in. Mad Talk Sports episode 45, special episode with Drake and I because it is in memory of Super Bowl 45 when my Packers took down Drake's Steelers. Drake, what do you have to say for yourself?
That's so ironic that we play this week too.
Yeah, isn't it?
And it's episode 45. It all, meshes so well together.
It does, especially because
Being the
we're going to
old
win again.
Packers Steelers fans that we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's obviously something we'll talk about today is Packers Steelers, but we got a lot to go through from the performances last week. We've got a return of the Question King segment. We do have a special edition draft day today before we go into our picks for next week. But let me just say right up front, I went 11-3 straight up and 11-3 against the spread. Definitely my best week of the season. So I got to give myself a pat on the back for that.
You got a lot of pats on that back, Joe.
And need at least
good
one
year,
more.
I guess.
I need at least one more.
Having a good year. Too bad this week you're at least going to get one wrong, but that's fine.
I mean, what can you do? The Packers, I pick them every week, so I'm 3-5 on that.
That's true.
Yeah, so that's hurting me a little bit, but we'll see as things go from here on how I'll keep picking them. I won't tip my hand quite yet. I'm picking the Packers. Let's be real. But
yeah, I mean,
a lot of impressive performances last week, Drake. We gotta go with our medalists again. I think that's a good way to get things kicked off here before we expose some of our other topics. Drake, bronze medalists.
I would like you to go first on your bronze because I have two, and I feel like you picked one of them, so then I'll just do the other one. I only picked two just in case you picked one, so that way we didn't repeat ourselves because we're probably going to repeat ourselves for like the gold and the silver, so.
I thought about that too, so I try to be a little different even with mine because I kind of assumed some of the ones you'll have. So I don't think you'll have this guy, but bronze, I'm going to give it to Trent McDuffie, cornerback for the Kansas City Chiefs. One, because of the job he did on Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill had his lowest output of the season against his former team where he was clearly motivated. And McDuffie's the one who ripped the ball away. And bonus points, McDuffie is the player that the Chiefs drafted with one of the picks that they got for in the trade, giving away Tyreek from the Dolphins. So all in all, massive tipping of the cap to Trent McDuffie, someone who's going very under the radar and stepping up to be a top corner in this league. So McDuffie, shout out.
Good bronze pick. My bronze pick, I gave it to Kenny Moore.
I knew it.
From the Colts. 2 pick sixes. He was very impressive. Lockdown game. And I think I read that it was like a top 5 highest graded single game coverage grade this season so far. So Kenny Moore, bronze medal.
Kenny Moore was my silver medal too. So I guess we did have a few of the same. But since you already said him, it means I don't have to, edge out one of my quarterbacks that I was on the fence on for who gets the gold. Silver, I'm going to go with, Silver, I'm going to go with Josh Dobbs. Just amazing performance with obviously the circumstances. He didn't know the cadence. He didn't know guys' names. He didn't know the plays. Like, that's awesome. That's just a great story.
Dobbs was my silver too. I mean,
yeah,
same thing. Game-winning drive and game-winning touchdown. After starting out the game very rusty, you could tell that he wasn't a part of that team.
Yeah.
But just really, he's a football player, man. Really got into it and had a good game. So yeah, he was my silver.
Does that mean we both put Stroud as gold?
Yeah, I mean, what a game.
What a game.
What a game. Even you had said, like would you thought it was over or something, like
Yeah.
because the Bucks were up and then Stroud led the game-winning drive and like I think they only had like one or two timeouts on that drive, like a minute something left and or 2 minutes left or whatever it was. Um, it was great, and Stroud looked very calm.
Yeah. He's
Didn't
got
look like a
ice.
rookie.
I'm incredibly impressed with Stroud. And I was a big doubter of Stroud simply because of the fact that he's an Ohio State quarterback. But I have nothing to say. Like, he's just a beast. And
Yeah, I mean,
like you said, I thought that game was over when the Bucks scored with what, like 40 seconds to go ahead. I was like, well, great game, Stroud, but team's just not that good yet. And they turn around and win. And
yeah,
what's even funnier is like because how like the kicker Fairbairn, he got hurt, so they had to put in
yeah,
Wale, running back, former
hmm
Badger, shout out UW. He was their emergency kicker. So earlier in the game he kicked, but at the end of the game they have that go ahead score, so they're up 2, but you don't want to kick it because potential to return it back and tie the game. So they just take a knee. However,
yep.
the line for that game was Texans by 3. So the Buccaneers covered. And I picked the Buccaneers. So that helped me on my spread pick. And that's just like an all-time great beat for me, but bad beat for anyone who was picking the Texans to cover the 3. Because at least then they would have
I
pushed.
didn't even, yeah, I didn't even know that that was the spread. But yeah, they were because you know I was watching it and I was I thought they were gonna go for two, whatever. Um, but then I was like,
Risky.
no way, because like, yeah, like a pick six or
Pick
a
2.
fumble or anything, yeah, pick two. But yeah, it was a great game all around. Honestly, I think Baker played well. Obviously, Stroud played well. Tank Dell had himself another game. That's like his third one this year, where
Yep.
he's very impressive. Nico Collins having an impressive year. Um, the Texans are looking
They're nice.
not as bad as I thought they were. Yeah, I mean they're feisty. We've said it, all year. They're a feisty team. And I've been high on Stroud since before draft day. I've said he's better than Bryce Young. I've said
You
that
have.
and I will stick to that. I like CJ Stroud.
The thing for him is like going into the year, I would have thought, all right, if the Texans are good, the defense is good, right? The run game is good with Dameon Pierce. No, flatly, no. Neither have really been good at all.
Mm-mm.
And CJ Stroud is absolutely ruining and blowing the curve for all rookie QBs, all first time starters, anyone who wants excuses as to why they're not performing great. He wipes it all away. He's like, oh, my O line's banged up. Whatever. Here comes a perfect passer rating. He's like, oh, my run game sucks. I'll throw 470 yards and win a game winning drive. Like, dude is just an absolute beast. No excuses. And that is the most impressive part, is the fact that he stepped into a really bad team. And, these receivers, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Robert Woods, like, they're all right, but it's not like he's got some Stephon Diggs out there. He doesn't have a Tyreek Hill or anything like that. It's really impressive. And I have no knocks for him, but it's just funny because now, like, as a Packer fan, I can't say, well, Jordan Love, the O-line's struggling, like, and you can't even say that as like a Steelers fan of like, oh, well, this or that. Like, he just blows the
Mm-mm.
excuses out to where now the other QBs are just like, well, we're not Stroud.
Well, we suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And yeah,
Yeah. And
because
it doesn't mean that those
yeah, I mean
guys
you've
suck,
said
but it
it
means they're
like
not great.
no, yeah, and I mean you said it like Damian Pierce has been a letdown.
Yeah.
Um, obviously O line stinks, and yeah, no, but they got a good coaching staff. So,
They do. D'Amico Ryans, we
but
both felt
obviously,
great. He is great.
yeah, yeah, and who just said it? Someone just said it. Fred Warner, I think. Coaches don't win games, players win games. They just said it. I
Hmm.
believe it was Fred Warner. So I mean, obviously, like you said, yeah, he's blowing all the excuses out of the water. He's playing great ice, but how do you feel about all the MVP talk about him?
I mean, it's a little much, but if this continues to where like the rest of the league, no one wants the award, and he leads the Texans to 10 wins, 11 wins, and they make the playoffs, and he's got a TD int ratio of like 33-3 by the end of the year. He's got 4,000 plus yards. Like, I'll listen to it, man. Like, this is impressive stuff. Like, I don't expect him to be able to keep up this level for a whole year just because that's
No,
hard,
no.
even if you're
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers or Pat Mahomes. But right now, it's warranted.
yeah. I mean, when I had first seen it, like at first I was like, little fast, but then I was like, he's
Who
really
else?
playing like, yeah, he's really playing like the best right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not jumping on the hype train like that, but like he is in the conversation. He's playing better than Tua, and Tua was leading the conversations.
Okay, Kyle.
Like Lamar's winning. They're winning games, but
Well, he doesn't
Lamar's
got to do
not putting the
much.
numbers up like Stroud
No.
is. So no, I mean
Yeah.
Stroud, he's in the conversation. I think for sure.
Right. I wouldn't label him as a front runner, but again, he's
Uh
he's there. And I mean, obviously this is a little prisoner of the moment to some degree. He's coming after one of the best, if not the very best rookie performance of all time. But, to be fair, the week before he lost to the Panthers, and that's, the only game that they won. But when you look at his season as a totality, he's done some impressive things. He beat the Jags, and he's had several good games even when they've lost. So he takes care of the ball. He makes big plays. Like, there's not much more you can ask for, especially for a rookie. Not even grading him on a curve. He's someone who would be in the top 5 of the current MVP race. So I have no problem with it.
and the Texans have been awful, and like we just both said that roster is not great, and they're 4-4. So I don't know, man.
They're
I
very
guess I
alive.
mean, yeah, we definitely have to see. There
This
is
week will
the
be
the
big.
whole hype thing because of that game, but oh
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, because
Who do they
this
play?
week they have
Cincy?
Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Very tough. Like, that'll be good for measuring stick for seeing like how good he is against like a really good defense. But also, if they are looking to push playoffs, that's who they're chasing right now. Because the Bengals are currently in.
They're
The
chasing
entire
all.
AFC North is in.
Yeah, I said I know. I'll go back, but I said on one episode something. It was kind of a joke, and I said, "What if like the whole division makes the playoffs or whatever?" And we both were kind of like, "Nah, that wouldn't happen. Like that can't happen." But
It
hey,
can.
who knows? It can. Isn't? I don't think it's never happened before, right?
No, I mean, obviously the
I don't think it's ever
seven,
happened before.
right. And there's only been a few years of the 7 team, per conference to make it even possible. But yeah, it's not happened. But this performance by like the Bengals as of late, like all that talk about how the Bengals need to bench Joe Burrow, he's too hurt to play. Like, everyone that said that now is feeling like, well, that was kind of a little stupid. Like, he has a calf injury. It's not like he's out there with, a partially torn MCL. Like, that talk, that just goes to show like overreactions to the first couple weeks of football. But, that being said, the Bengals are very back and they're very scary.
See, like, and my argument with that is, like, you've seen how poorly he played in the beginning.
Yeah.
My whole argument was, you don't bench him now because now you're fully invested in him. He's playing. He's starting. You don't bench him, but you should have if that was
Beforehand.
going to be Yeah, like that should have been made. All right, you're not playing week 1. You're not playing week 2.
Hmm.
But all the calls for, they're what were they, 1-3, 1-2 at the time, or 1-3 or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not when you're like, okay, we got to bench Burrow. No. Now you're rocking with your franchise quarterback who just got a bag of a contract. But still, yeah, no. I agree 100%. All that benching Burrow talk.
Ridiculous.
But it did take him a while. And my whole reasoning for being out so heavily on them is I thought the AFC was going to be way more competitive.
I mean, it's
So I thought,
competitive.
it's competitive, but I thought it was going to be,
More heavy hitters.
being 1-3. Yeah, being 1-3, you're crawling back into a playoff spot. But it doesn't look like that now. So I guess I wasn't out on them as in like talent wise. I was out on them as in the fact that I was just under the curve of the AFC is just going to be way too hard to crawl back from being down like that.
Yeah. I mean, it helps when teams like the Bills just implode.
Exactly.
So you remember the other week, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we asked, like, how concerned are you about the Bills? And I'm pretty sure you were very concerned. And
Yep.
now we're seeing that play out. Has that meter gone up, or are you about the same?
I'm. I just I knew I know how the Bills are, and they've plateaued. Like
Yeah.
they haven't got any better. They're not getting any worse. I guess they still have an explosive weapons of with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, and their defense it plays okay. Like it can play lights out, but it's not playing lights out, and they're just at a plateau. So I mean, it hasn't gotten any better, it hasn't gotten any worse, but I think that they're just the Bills. I think when Claypool said, when Claypool said the Browns is the Browns, I think the Bills is the Bills, and I think that is a very accurate statement.
What about when Claypool said losing? Never heard of her.
And then proceeds to never win a game again.
Exactly. But no, I
Yeah,
think that's fair that the Bills are the Bills. Now, also to give them an out per se, like, you lose Matt Milano, you lose Tre'Davious White, like, those are two top 10 players at their position. Like, that absolutely hurts. So there's some reason to it. But even outside of it, man, that offense is Josh Allen or bust. And that's just not enough when you're in the good conference.
and Josh Allen is like 4
Busting.
touchdowns or bust.
Yeah.
Like he's throwing a pick. Like if his parlay is always half a pick, always a lock to go one. Always.
Always.
Every time go over.
Hammer the
Every
over.
time because he's throwing a pick. So
Yeah. Well, not to get too far into the Bills. Next year, we've got the return of the Question King. So this will be a good way for us to go through some of the recent news in the NFL and also some general topics based on what we've seen over the course of the season so far. And Drake, someone that you are very fond of, Kyler Murray has been activated and is now eligible to play. Josh Dobbs is gone. Kyler Murray, it's his team, at least for the remainder of the year. Drake, the question is, will Kyler quiet any QB draft talks that are happening in Arizona?
I mean, I don't know. Do I think Kyler Murray's gonna play good? 100%. I think Kyler's gonna be Kyler. I don't think there's gonna be any that, like you said, I like Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray's very good. I don't think there's going to be any really necessary heavily drop off from him where you're like a Daniel Jones type where it's like we got to draft a quarterback. But I just don't know what's going on in Arizona. Like, do they want Caleb Williams or what? So I don't know if it's like regardless of how Kyler plays, he's going to play good and then they're going to try and trade him. I don't know what's going on in Arizona. That's why I say I don't know. I think that Kyler Murray's play should quiet the draft talks, but I don't know what's going on in the AZ down there.
All right. So if the question were instead, will Kyler reestablish himself as a top 10 quarterback? What would your answer be there?
Yeah.
Okay. So you think he will come back as, maybe not right away, but eventually this year he'll get back to himself and he'll quiet any doubts there. But you have no clue what's going on with Arizona in terms of their long-term strategy.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. And I'm right there with you. Like, I am not out on Kyler Murray being a top quarterback in this league, especially in the NFC. Like, you could make an argument that the Cardinals, if they do end up with a top 2 pick and, they're happy with Kyler, you can make an argument that they're better off just shipping off that pick for a king's ransom. You remember like what the Rams had to give up back in the day to move up to number 1 to take Jared Goff. Like, imagine what teams are going to do for Caleb Williams. Like, you could make an argument that they could get such a huge ransom and make a big run in this open NFC. But I do think Kyler's going to come back. He's going to be a very effective player, back to like that top 10-ish type of guy. And quieting draft talks, it's really going to depend on if they win games. If they win 4 more games, then that talk's over. But if they go 2-15, then this will be a conversation we have in another month, in 2 months, 3 months, everything until the draft.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't even think about that. I like them getting, a high draft pick and then chipping it off. But like I said, I don't know.
Or taking Marvin
what's
Harrison.
going on in Arizona. Yeah, true. Apparently, or the Bears, because the Bears stink,
dude.
But anyways, yeah,
we're gonna go.
Kyler, I think, is definitely gonna be. Yeah, we will. But yeah, Kyler, I think, is definitely gonna be. I like Kyler Murray, so
yeah, I know you do.
I think he's been. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't even know where all the talk came from him. Like, I don't think he's
all the Call of Duty talk.
Like, I don't. Yeah, they tried to. Never mind. They tried to give him the Juju treatment.
Oh, but Juju stinks now, so.
Yeah, he does, and it makes me very sad because I still like Juju. Yeah.
Well,
no, he stinks. He didn't really do that good with
Kansas
Patrick
City.
Mahomes either. He did solid, okay-ish, but
he was fine.
It was just Ben's guy, man.
Yeah, I guess so. Or just everyone looks good next to AB. Maybe it was that too. Speaking of old Pittsburgh receivers, Martavis Bryant, what in the 2018 is going on here, Drake?
Dude, when you said I forgot he existed, I was cracking up.
I did. Like, I remember thinking of him as good when he was with you guys. And I remember you trading him to the Raiders for chips. Yeah. And I was like, what's going on here? And then he just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yeah, well, he got, caught smoking or failed the drug test or whatever. Then he was in the XFL. Now he plays for the Cowboys. Huh?
Did he do anything in the XFL? Do you know?
I probably seen maybe 1 or 2 highlights of him in the XFL. But I don't know.
All right. Well, now he can go be the receiver.
Yeah, he was another, I don't know what it is, but receivers don't do anything after they leave the Steelers.
Emmanuel Sanders did.
Yeah, and I guess Santonio Holmes.
And I guess AB on the Bucks won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but he,
Yeah, he's the number 4 receiver, and then he stripped off the field, and
yeah. So.
Well.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, sidetrack on the Martavis Bryant news, but so we started with Kyler, someone that you were very fond of. Now, someone you are not very fond of that I was once upon a time. Carson Wentz has signed with the LA Rams. A little bit of poetic justice here. The Rams, again, I mentioned how they traded up for Goff. They took Goff over Wentz. They eventually traded Goff away. And bonus points, I just found this out today or remembered. It was in the Coliseum in LA where the Rams used to play. That's where Wentz got hurt in that MVP season, or his like MVP track season. So, it comes all full circle. And now he's right back in LA. And the question, Drake, is this something or nothing?
Nothing. It's Carson Wentz, dude. I think it is something because it means that Stafford's going to be out for a while. But I mean, I don't know. Wentz gets Kupp. He gets Nakua, who's been playing well.
Is Wentz back, baby?
Yeah, so, MVP.
No, I mean, so it's a little something. It's not big news. Like you said, like if Stafford's out and he's got to play, like maybe it is something. Maybe he thinks he can be Baker 2.0 for when Baker went there to revive his career. But at the very least, the Rams watched that game in Lambeau last week, and they were like, all right, Brett Rippon, he is not even good enough for the XFL. Like, he is cooked. And they're like, we can't even have him be our backup. Like, that's just unacceptable.
Dude, the Rams should have won that game. You guys were just playing not good.
I agree.
But, like, yeah, Rippon is just awful.
All we had to do was show up and score more than 3 points to win that game. And it took us a while to do that.
Another sidetrack, a player that we both hate.
Oh.
Daniel Jones is out for the season.
Yeah.
Like it sucks because, it's an injury, but DeVito is also awful.
Oh my God. I'm sorry, Tommy. You're set up for failure, but you don't belong.
What do you think their move is? Do you think they're riding out with DeVito, or are they gonna
ride out with DeVito
and then draft a quarterback?
And absolutely draft a quarterback and tear it all down and restart, because that is your only out, New York. Because if you wait another year, Daniel Jones will come back. You guys will figure something out, get back to being a competitive team-ish, and just be stuck with Danny Dimes for another 4 to 5 years. And I know your eyeballs don't want to see that. So let the season ride out with Tommy DeVito. That'll automatically eliminate you from contention of winning games. And then you can have a top 3 pick.
Yeah, but
it does stink, though.
Just wasted all that money.
I mean, was there any doubt? Was there ever any doubt that was a bad investment? But now it's just
no. Yeah, and it does. I don't know. Just the overall football fan in me is just like, damn, he didn't even get a chance, like, to just do anything. Like,
it's a little sucky. Like, let's be fair.
But it's over for Daniel Jones in New York.
So, I talked about how I went, I had a good week last week of picks. I also picked the Giants, who got 40 balled. So, like, dude, like, come on. And then, like, that's a team that just, they've got Aiden O'Connell. They've got a brand new first-time head coach. And then they beat the Giants so bad that they're smoking cigars like they're Joe Burrow after winning the national championship at LSU. Like, oh my Lord.
Dude. And Devontae didn't do anything again.
No.
Dude, I don't know, man. Coaching change.
Rich Bisaccia 2.0 last time they made the playoffs after they fired Gruden.
Yeah.
Dude, did you see that story about Alec Pierce? That's his name, right? Mike Pierce, Alec Pierce, something like that. Their interim coach, Pierce, former linebacker, he had a players meeting with everyone, and he was like, but this was before McDaniels got fired, and he was the voice of the coaching staff, and he said to like all the guys, like, man, you guys got to believe, you got to have an attitude that we could beat anyone. Like the 2007 Giants beat the undefeated Patriots because we believed. And then Josh McDaniels was like, don't you ever talk about the Patriots like that. Did you hear that story?
No.
Dude, And I thought it was like memes, like I thought it was made up, but this came from Jay Glazer, who's a very credible source. And if that is true, like McDaniels, bro, come on. You're saying don't talk bad about the Patriots from 16 years ago? Good Lord.
And did you see what Devontae said? That he's ready. He said um I'm ready to run through a wall for this guy.
Yeah, I did see that.
But like 2 weeks ago, last week, there was just talks of why am I here? Basically.
You know what it's like to play for a head coach that you absolutely don't believe in, and you also know what it's like to play for one you do believe in. Like that matters. I'm not saying any names.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
No,
we
don't
know
say
what
any
that's like.
names. No, yeah. Oh yeah, we do. And it matters.
It absolutely matters.
It
Obviously,
matters.
players win games, but coaches put the players in position to win games. Coaches motivate them to do so, and you want someone you can rally behind. And it seems like the Raiders have that, at least for the time being. They got the Jets this week, so maybe they can keep things rolling. We'll get to more of that later. But back to the Giants side of things, like absolutely demoralizing for a franchise.
Yeah. But maybe they'll just be so bad that they get Caleb Williams.
It'll be tough. There's a lot of bad teams out there right now. But we'll see.
Yeah.
And so overall on the Wentz side of things, we went from Wentz to the Giants to coaching and whatever. But Wentz seems like we're both kind of on the same page there. Next up is less news and more so just something we saw. So the Dolphins lost to Germany to the Chiefs, and it was kind of a comedic ending to how they did lose. But overall, it continues the trend. They are 0-3 against teams above 500, that being the Bills, the Eagles, and the Chiefs. And also, they've only averaged 17 points a game during those games, while the rest of the season, they're 6-0 and perhaps the best offense in the league. Drake, are the Dolphins' struggles against winning teams something or nothing?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like that just means that they're just right, Obviously, they're better than the bad teams, and they're not as good as the heavy hitters. But I just don't think that, like, it means panic on them. I just think it means that the other team, the other teams are good. And we had talks about how bad the Dolphins defense is. So when you play the Chiefs and you play the Eagles, yeah, I get what I mean. They got Ramsey back, so that helps.
Yeah.
He looks good, but I just think that I would rather lose to the bad teams than lose to the scrub teams, But it just means you're not here, but you're not here. You're like right here.
Yeah.
So you're better than the bottom half, but good luck against the top half, I guess.
Yeah. So a funny way I heard them like described is they're like, all right, so this is Chris Broussard who's on Fox Sports. He goes, the Dolphins are a bunch of break dancers. They're when it's time to fight, they're like, all right, let's settle this with dance. Like they're just not tough. When they run into something that's somewhat of a fist fight, like they're trying to break dance and then they get punched in the mouth and they're toast. And that really goes to the point of I just don't think they're a tough team. Like they're a very pretty team. They've got these incredible play designs to get people open, to get people moving, running down the field. Tua making the easy read. I mean, left hand, not right hand. They've got all those things going for them. But anytime you disrupt their rhythm, their dance, all of a sudden they look clunky. They look like they got no rhythm. They look like me out there. Like, I think that's just who they are. Like, teams that can challenge them physically will always give them trouble.
Dude, I have been looking for that Tua throw all week, and I cannot find it.
It's been
It was
erased.
so bad. It was so bad. Like, third down, game-winning drive, wide open receiver, 10 yards short, like, touchdown. No, like, it was just so bad. So bad. I gotta find it. I'm gonna
System
I'm gonna
quarterback.
I'm about to go watch the whole the replay of the game.
Probably could.
It was so bad.
Yeah, I mean, for me, so like I told you how I didn't even end up seeing their last drive. Like, but also with the Chiefs being up 21-14, even though their offense had done nothing, and the Dolphins were able to crawl back into the game. Dolphins get the ball for a chance at a game tying drive, potentially go ahead drive. Zero part of me thought they were going to score. Zero. Like, I don't trust that team in big games against great defenses. And like, it's not like looking bad against the Chiefs defense means you stink. Like, Chiefs defense is awesome this year, but they just when things get hard, Tua is just he's a system quarterback. Like, when things are great, when things are easy, he's great and he makes it look easy. But as soon as it's hard, he's just another guy.
Neither of us have been super high on Tua, so
No. And every year it seems to be the new trend of a few weeks in, everyone's like, "Oh, he's elite. He's top 5, he's whatever." And then 5 weeks later, again, this stuff happens. Now, the Dolphins still have a lot of winnable games on their schedule, so they still should win that division. They still should win like 12 games. So maybe if they get home field advantage in the playoffs, they can beat some of these teams. But if you're telling me that they need to be able to beat like consecutively the Bengals and the Ravens, or the Ravens and the Chiefs or whoever, I just don't see it happening. Still a good team. They're not bad. That's not what I'm saying. They're right. They're outside of that elite group.
yeah.
Well, another team
I think
that
we
had
beat them.
who beat them? You beat them?
I think we'll beat them if we play them in the playoffs.
So I think you guys. So you know how like the Patriots played the Dolphins tough this year, but just didn't have enough talent to finish the job?
Yeah.
Well, you guys have more
No.
talent than the Patriots, but you have Matt Canada. So you would end up losing to the
Hey, I
Dolphins like
told you.
20-14.
I told you. Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later when we get to Kenny. Moving on, the Seahawks, another team that had a disappointing week, they got creamed by the Ravens. Now, they're not the only team to have been on the receiving end of that, but they are the most recent team there. But with that game, them obviously getting stomped by the Ravens, who is it more about? Is it about the Seahawks and their blunders, or is it about the dominance of the Ravens?
Probably more about the Ravens, because again, we've seen them dominate a good team with Lamar being kind of like just a game manager type of guy, like not doing much. And still dominated a good team. So I think it's more about the Ravens.
I would agree. I mean, it's a little about the Seahawks. Like, they've been a little fraudulent lately. They got lucky against the Browns. They choked away against the Bengals. Like, that's a game they should have won. But the Seahawks are fine. They're still playoff contending team. But yeah, I think it is mostly about the Ravens and just how great they are, and the fact that if you let them up 14-0, the game is over. And that's always been the case with Lamar-led teams, but this is probably the best defense the Ravens have had since their Super Bowl run, 10 years ago to this point. Like, that defense is nasty. Like, they are great.
Yeah. For sure. And Roquan's playing great.
Yep. He's a monster.
Man.
I still
But
can't
I
believe the Bears
guarantee you we
traded
split.
you guys.
I still bet you, I still think we'll split.
Well, you won one already.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think we'll split. Like I think that split means we win one, lose one, So
Mhm.
I think that the split is coming.
We'll see. You guys, I don't know what
Maybe
it
we
is.
will go 2-0 against them.
Maybe. You guys are a bunch of cannibals in that division. You guys all just eat each other.
Yeah. Everyone splits. It's
Yeah,
like every year. And it's
pretty
annoying.
much. You used to be able to just pick on the Browns, but now they're annoying. So that's come and gone. But we talked about Josh Dobbs a little bit earlier and the impressive game and just overall the facts of the matter and the circumstances he was in and how he came to the top, how he overcame. With that, I don't know how you see that continuing, but with the Vikings now having Josh Dobbs as their quarterback the rest of the year, they're 5-4, they're the current 7 seed. Can the Vikings still make the playoffs?
Does Justin Jefferson come back?
He's activated now.
I know. Does he come back?
Let's say he comes back next week 11.
Probably. Dude, Josh Dobbs is going to feed Justin Jefferson. I don't know. I mean, I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs with Kirk. Like, it doesn't, Dobbs isn't much better than Kirk.
Nowhere near. But
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like Dobbs being there. I'm like, oh God, now they're a playoff contender. But I think they're catching some sort of momentum, I guess you could say. So I could see them making the playoffs. Do I say they will? I don't know who would beat them out. Maybe the Bucks? I don't know. Ha! No. No.
don't stop believing, Drake.
Just a slow no.
I don't know. It is tough. Like, I think obviously they've got the inside track. So they certainly can. If I had to bet on a team to take that final spot, it would be them because I don't trust the Bucks, I don't trust the Falcons, I don't trust the Commanders, I don't trust the Rams, I don't trust any of these teams chasing them. And it's really not just because of Dobbs. That defense is way better than it was last year. If last year's team had this year's defense, that would have been a legitimate team. I would have never called them a fraudulent Vikings team. Like, this defense it's not top 5, but it's probably like, in that 8 to 10, 8 to 12 range, which is that's what you need. And if the offense can at least be passable, then they can go 9-8 and squeak their way in. So I think they would be the favorites right now. They won't matter when it gets to it, but
yeah, I mean, yeah. They could be there, but that's fine.
It's fine. All right, last one here for Question King before we get to the draft. And it is fitting for, again, episode 45, Packers-Steelers theme here. Drake, both of our quarterbacks are under a little bit of duress based on their starts to the season. Different reasons and different degrees there. However, both Kenny Pickett and Jordan Love have come under fire at various times over the course of the season. Who is under more pressure now to start performing better?
Jordan Love. Easily. You've had 2 years behind one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Now here you go. I mean, you know more about all of that stuff, but I just think that with Kenny, we're not looking for another quarterback. He could have another bad year this year. He'll be our starter next year. because we'll have a new offensive coordinator next year. I feel like it's the same for you, but I feel like there's a little more give there. I want to say it's the same for you. Like you guys aren't. I don't think you guys will be looking for another quarterback next year if Jordan Love continues this type of play. But I think there's more give in the Jordan Love aspect than there is with the Kenny Pickett aspect. If that
I
makes
follow
sense.
that. Yeah, it does. And overall, I do agree with you. I think there's pressure on each of them, because you guys obviously
For
have
sure.
an excellent defense and you have some really special weapons on offense to where you got to start performing, dude. Especially again, we talked about the Stroud side of things, like that it's blowing the curve for these other young guns that, want more time to get acclimated. So I do see some pressure on Kenny, but I think you are correct that the Steelers won't be in the market for a quarterback unless the season totally went to shit as a result of Kenny Pickett just not making plays. But Matt Canada would probably be that first one again to get to be off with his head before Kenny gets has to take the blame for that. So I do see that as far as having a little bit more give. Jordan Love, I do think, has a little give in the standpoint that he's under contract for one more year. So we likely will give him another shot and hopefully just see how things progress as he gets more play time. But like you said, he is coming off the heels of excellent quarterback play. The standards are high in Green Bay, and fans in Green Bay are already turning to where no longer happy with Jordan Love, no longer happy with Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst. And it can get hot quick in the frozen tundra as far as your seat that you're sitting on. So he certainly needs to be better. I'm not saying he needs to be an Aaron Rodgers, but he needs to continue to show progression, show steps towards success. So I agree overall, Jordan Love, a little bit more pressure, but they are both facing their fair share.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm starting to look at Kenny Pickett, and I'm like, come on, dude. Like I said, there was route combinations that I seen Matt Canada put together, and Kenny Pickett missed George Pickens on a wide open crossing route with 25 yards of space in front of him, just completely missed it on a third down. Like that's not Matt Canada's fault,
No?
So I'm starting to get a little frustrated, but I'm still going to back Kenny Pickett until I just can't no more.
Dude, what about this week? We have the matchup of Matt Canada versus Joe Barry.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Like, I know. And we're both just going to be like, you're going to be like, it's Matt Canada. And I'm going to be like, it's Joe Barry. Like, what are we doing?
No excuses.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll get more into that game later as we get towards our picks. And last thing before picks is going to be a little special episode 45 segment, Return of the Draft. Draft Day, Packers Steelers edition. So this is going to be current rosters, and it's quarterback, running back, 2 receivers, tight end, inside the box defender. So front 7, you think lineman, linebacker, a DB, and a head coach. So we got, what is that, 8 slots to choose from here, Drake. And I'm going to go ahead and let you take the first pick here.
Okay. Well, I got TJ Watt.
Damn.
Pick.
I'll take Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Ah, okay. All right.
2 Steelers
I'll
off the
take your
board.
boy Jair Alexander.
Christ. All right, so defense is off the board.
Yeah, had to. I mean, it's the only thing we're both good at.
Yeah. Give me. Let's get myself a Packer. Give me Aaron Jones.
Okay. Um, then I gotta seal Tomlin.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to at that point. All right. Well, if you got Tomlin, you got your defense locked up. Let me keep taking some weapons. Give me Pickens.
See, and I'm fine with that. I knew that's where you're gonna go, but I couldn't take him before Tomlin. So then I'll take Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, it's fair.
I think Deontay Johnson is the wide receiver one on the Steelers anyway. So
Well, in fantasy, apparently, God, Deontay Johnson sat on my bench scoring 22 while Pickens put up 1.2 or whatever it was. Oh man. Let's
Deontay
see here.
Johnson's route running is crisp.
Yeah, he's better at getting open, that's for sure. All right, well, let me get Rashawn Gary. I thought about going the Highsmith route, but Gary's got that more high end potential in my opinion.
Well, I'm gonna disagree with that statement.
It's
I think
fine.
Gary's a dog, but well, I guess I gotta take. I mean, all three of your receivers are honestly like very mid. Christian Watson is not playing well this year, but I'll take Romeo Dobbs.
Dude, I thought I was safe with Dobbs and that he was going to take a while to get off the board. Dude. Oh my god. Whole draft just ruined. Is Fryermuth back or what?
No, Brian
All
Moose
right.
is not back.
Then I'm going to go ahead and take Luke Musgrave. I like Luke. He's done solid. We just got to get him more involved.
So, okay, all right. Well, then I mean, I gotta take Najee, right? I mean,
yeah. Unless you want Warren.
yeah, no, I gotta take Najee.
Let me go ahead and stop tiptoeing around and take a quarterback. And guess what, Drake? I'm taking Jordan Love. Give him to me.
Way to just lose the draft.
Don't hate.
So you asked if Fryermuth was out. I take it that him being on IR means he's undraftable.
Yeah.
So then I guess I'll have to take Denzel Washington, Mr. Big 7'4", 385 pounds. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know why Denzel popped in. Well, I know why Denzel popped in my head, but yeah.
All right. Well, you got yourself a tree. All right. Well, then I need a receiver, and I can't believe you took Dobbs from me. Begrudgingly, give me Christian Watson.
Yeah. Disgusting.
Disgusting.
Yeah. And I'm going to just go ahead and take Kenny Pickett.
All right, Drake took Mitch a Pickett.
Kenny Pickett.
All right, what'd your squad end up looking like?
You didn't take a head coach, buddy.
Oh yeah, give me LaFleur.
I got Kenny Pickett, Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson, Romeo Dobbs.
Oh, a Packer.
Yeah. Washington. Darnell Washington.
Darnell, come on, dude.
Yeah, I know. I just keep wanting to say Denzel, even though I know that's not his name. TJ Watt. Jair Alexander and Mike Tomlin.
Solid. So I got J Love, Aaron Jones, Pickens, Watson, Musgrave, Rashawn Gary, Minka, and LaFleur.
So you took George Pickens and Fitzpatrick, and I took Dobbs and Jair.
Yeah. What a trade.
The Steelers would be better with Dobbs and Jair.
You think?
Yeah. Not like giving away, Pickens and Minka. Like I'm
No
saying
shit.
if we
if the Packers got to add TJ Watt, Minka, we'd be better.
No, if the Packers got George Pickens and Minka, you guys wouldn't be much better.
Minka would help a lot because our safety room is garbage.
That's true.
And
Pickens I don't know. We help. Both stink.
Yeah. Some heavyweight matchup.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, let's see if we could get into some actual heavyweight matchups in our Week 10 picks. And we're starting with a barn burner, Drake. We've got the much feared, the shaking in their boots, Carolina Panthers going to Chicago. And we got a heavyweight matchup. Bears favored by 3 at home. Drake, I don't know how you choose one of these teams to lose. They're so great.
Yeah, I don't know how I choose one of these teams to score. I mean,
Fields is out too.
Oh, he is?
Oh. Yeah, they all but confirmed it today.
I don't know. I mean, the Bears' defense is probably better than Carolina's offense. I'm going to go with Carolina.
Oh. Yeah. Carolina, huh? I don't even want to pick either team because this is a game where the Bears own their pick and the Panthers pick. So this is just a battle of which Bears pick will be higher, theirs or the one they got in the trade. So, oh my Lord. I'll take the Bears, I guess, 20-16 in a unwatchable game.
Yeah, I mean, I won't watch it.
Who do I even have in fantasy on there? Anybody? I got Thielen. Might watch for Thielen.
I have Thielen and DJ Moore in some leagues. All 21 of them.
All 21. All right, well, the Germany game this week is Colts-Patriots, not quite Chiefs-Dolphins that we got last week, but it's projected to be a close game. The Colts are favored by 1.5 points.
I do have the Colts, yeah.
Yeah, I do too. I got Colts by 7, 23-16. So I think it'll be a decent game, not one that I'm going to be in a rush to wake up for this week. If it's if it's on, I'll peek. If not, so be it.
Hey, I got the Colts covering
the 1.5. Bold. Oh my God. I think that was your first time deciding on if you were going to do the point spread or not, and it's for the 1.5 spread.
It is. It is. Oh, yep.
Way to go out on a leg there. I don't know if, man, your reputation might be shot if they only win by 1.
I'm gonna be 1-0 against the spread, man.
You can legitimately say I am 100% against the spread.
Exactly.
Wow. This game, contender for game of the week, it's up there, and that's going to be probably the best defensive matchup. 2 top 5 defenses in the Browns and Ravens. So Cleveland going to Baltimore. Baltimore favored by 6 at home. So it's a pretty healthy spread there.
I got Baltimore. I just think that Baltimore's defense is just way too good for that Browns offense.
I got Baltimore too. I do think that the Browns will make it tough and that this will be an ugly game, kind of like Steelers Ravens was earlier in the year, but I still got the Ravens pulling it out 20-17, so they don't cover. So I'm kind of hedging my bet a little bit, betting the Ravens but picking the Browns in the spread. So let's see if I can thread the needle. I did it correctly once last week. But that's a good game. That's might be my favorite game of the week. Besides, of course, the true game of the week on Mad Talk, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, Super Bowl 45 rematch. Green Bay Packers, Pittsburgh Steelers, America's true teams 1 and 2. And the lore goes deep. The Packers haven't won in Pittsburgh since 1972 when Bart Starr was the quarterback of Green Bay. Pittsburgh favored by 3. Drake, how much you got them winning by?
I don't do the spread, remember?
Yeah, I know. This game,
and I don't want to blow my. I don't want to blow my perfect. I'm gonna be perfect with my cover. I don't want to blow that. No, but I got Steelers, obviously, no question. We'll definitely win by more than 3 for sure, 100%.
Do you guys have that capability to win by more than 3?
I don't know if we have the capability to score 3
against Joe Barry. I hope so.
Yeah, no, I definitely. Yeah, I mean, it'll be a game-winning touchdown probably from Kenny Pickett. It'll be a 6th, and we'll win by like 6 or 7.
Kenny's like, I got 6 game-winning touchdowns, but also 6 touchdowns total. Right? Like, it's when it comes to life. But not this week, sir. The Packers winning in Pittsburgh 20-16. This is mostly hope, but yeah. We need it more than you do.
Hopes and dreams. Hopes and dreams. I mean, we'll be 6-3. So,
wow, rude. Quite rude. All right. Well, this next game is actually much, much better, and that's the Niners and the Jags in Jacksonville, Duval, but the Niners are favored by 3.
Is Debo out still?
I am not sure.
Oh, well, I mean, I've got San Fran because of McCaffrey, but if Debo's out, I don't know, man. Yeah, I'll just take San Fran.
No Uno skip card this week?
No, I mean, I don't know, man. I think Debo is out. Dude, I don't know. God. No, I got San Fran. Yep.
Solid. Waffle back.
Stamped.
Yeah. Written in stone. I've also got the Niners 24-20. Somewhat of a desperation game.
Hey. Chase Young debut.
It's true. They could use it. And Wilkes, the defense coordinator, he will be on the field instead of in the booth.
That worked wonders for Matt Canada.
I mean, that's Matt Canada, though. Let's be fair. All right. Am I lagging a little bit on your end, video?
You have the whole time, but it's fine. I could still follow along. Well, now you're just muted.
How about now?
Nope, now you're good.
Oh my God. All right. Technical difficulties.
I just watched you do your whole thing about, this New Orleans game and just nothing.
Well, now you lose out on the secrets I already picked. I'm just kidding. Saints at Vikings. Saints are 2.5-point favorites, so kind of like a pick 'em. This kind of feels like a trap to me.
I've got the Vikings.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Any reason?
Upset. Upset.
Upset.
Um, all the reasons you said about the Vikings defense, and I just said that, dude. New Orleans offense is very poo.
Yeah, a little bit.
But then again, I don't know. I'm just upset. It's just I just have my doubts about um that offense. So I don't have doubts about their defense. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just gonna go the Vikings.
Well,
Gut
I
feeling.
just ditched my background, by the way. I think that might have been part of what slows me down. But
Maybe
I,
because you're good now.
oh my God. All right, man, I like the
No, you're
background. All
not.
right. I
Oh
got
no, yeah, you're good. Wow, you are very good.
good. Well, I got the Saints covering just barely 20-17. I will admit I'm a little nervous on that one. Vikings got a lot of momentum going right now, but I will go with the Saints there. Sneaky good game. Texans going to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals, and the Bengals, excuse me, are favored by 6.5 at home.
Well, I got another upset. Houston, we have a problem.
Is the problem that they're winning games?
No.
Well,
Well,
Drake,
yeah.
I agree with you. I also picked this upset, and I got Texans 28-24. I think it'll be a grinder of a game. It's a little bit of a trap game for the Bengals. They're coming off a couple of really big wins, tough games on the schedule, and they've got a tough schedule after this week, too. It's a little bit of a trap game, and the Texans are hot. Texans are hot.
I agree.
Okay. Well, that's
And
we don't agree on upsets
yeah,
all the time.
no, not really, but
No,
I
not
think we
really.
should I think we should speed past the rest of the game so that way everyone that we pick loses.
Wow, we should
The Mad Talk
totally
curse.
people that we pass because we think it's an easy game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, we can't speed past. Well, we could speed past this one, but no one would really care. Titans at Bucks. Bucks by 1.5 favorite.
I got the Bucks covering.
Oh, another 1.5. You fucker.
No.
Oh my God. I've also got the Bucks covering 27-23.
Oh no.
Oh boy. We
Dude, I'm
didn't
gonna be
speed past it though.
2-0,
Let's talk
100%.
about it. So Will Levis
Yeah.
looked a little bit better, but they're still the Titans. All right, and we're
Definitely
good to go.
not wrong. He did not look a little bit better at all, actually.
Better than Tannehill. Sorry.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm rocking with Levis over Tannehill for sure.
Yeah. I mean, they benched Tannehill. He's now the backup, so they
Yep.
agree with you.
Poor
This is
guy.
a pretty good game. Lions at Chargers. Lions by 3 on the line.
I got the Lions.
Cover.
Chargers defense is just not good.
Not good. Not good. I've also got the Lions 30-24. I think it'll be a pretty good shootout for a while, but the Lions are just better than the Chargers are. And
Yeah.
being in LA won't make it a home game at all. So Lions. No. All right. Well, Falcons
Lions.
at Cardinals. Falcons are favored on the road by 1.5 in the Battle of the Birds.
I got my guy Kyler coming in, throwing 2 touchdowns and running for 2 touchdowns.
Oh, okay. We've
Oh,
got
I
we've
got the
got a disagreement.
Cardinals.
We've got a disagreement, sir. I've got the Falcons 24-17, a little bit of embarrassment factor after just losing to Josh Dobbs.
The Falcons stink. They are such a fraud.
Oh, for sure.
Like they're considered mid-pack team, and they're still fraudulent. How can you be a fraud middle of the pack team?
Fraud even for being mid.
They're just so bad. Yeah, they're just so
bad. Yeah, well, you know what those mid teams do? They win every now and again so that they can stay mid. And this is one of those games for me there.
Dude, you seen what? Why can't I think of his name? Arthur Smith. You seen what he said about Bijan?
No.
He's very productive without the ball in his hands.
What? This isn't basketball. Dude. He just wants to get fired.
What? Yeah. And poor fantasy owners,
Yep. Poor anyone who spent a first round pick.
Imagine taking a running back. Yeah, I was going to say, first round pick, draft Bijan, who looks phenomenal, and then the head coach is just like, yeah, he's very good when he's not touching the ball.
And he's a running back. He's a really good distraction player. He runs the crisp distraction routes. Yeah, that's crazy to me. Maybe they'll start using him to save their job. Next game is, I think, the biggest spread of the year, and that's Tommy DeVito and the New York Giants traveling to Dallas, who already beat them 40-0. Cowboys favored by 16.5.
Cowboys should be favored by 30.
That would be tough. That's like a college spread.
But
Alabama versus Southern Washington. I don't even know.
16.5, I think, is the biggest spread.
Yeah. I think previously it was 14.5. But
and that was a Dolphins.
I don't recall.
But
I've also got the Cowboys.
Dallas.
Yeah. Covering. I would not cover the 30, though, because that just feels mean. I got Cowboys 34-10, and even that feels a little nice.
That is nice.
They might sleepwalk at some point. Washington at Seattle. Seattle has got 6 points on the spread.
I've got Washington. I've got Washington.
Washington.
Sam Howell, man. Washington.
Whoa. That's a little surprising.
Wow. They just gave up both of their best defensive players. That just completely ran out of my head for a second. Yeah, I got Seattle for sure, 100%. 100%. I completely spaced on that. Yeah, Seattle. Whoa. Delete that, what I said. Yeah. Seattle is my pick.
I've also got Seattle. Seattle 27-20. Kenneth Walker is going to have a big game after having some quiet games in a row. I need him to do it. Fantasy team's begging for it. Huh?
I can't believe I just spaced on Sweat and Young being gone. I was even going to say Washington's defense will probably get to Geno, but no. Mm-mm.
They lost those guys that can get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, since we talked about it, we didn't doom them, though. Next up, this is almost as bad as Thursday night's game. Jets at Raiders. Jets 1.5 favorites.
I got the Raiders.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's the Giants, but I still think they've got some fire with their new coach.
Wow. I got the Jets. Jets 17-13. I see this being a game where points are coming at a premium. I don't know. I just feel like the Jets have. This is a game where, if the Jets want any hope for their season, they've got to win. It goes for the Raiders too, but I mean, the Raiders are playing on house money. They stink, and you benched your quarterback, you fired your coach, you fired your GM. If you win 2 more games the rest of the year, that's a success. But I don't know. That's a kind of a brutal Sunday night game. Can't believe it. And Monday night isn't that much better, but at least it's a little bit better. And that's Denver at Buffalo. Buffalo favored by 7.5.
Buffalo. Speed past it.
No, I'm not going to. Get ready. I'm just kidding. So I do got Buffalo, but I've got Denver covering the spread. I got Buffalo 27-23. I think it's real, the struggles of the Bills and the improvements of the Broncos. So overall, like, I think they can make it a competitive game. Bills are obviously still the better team and they should win, but I don't know. I see this being a kind of a sneaky competitive Monday night game.
I got the Bills.
Okay. I think we only had like 3 disagreements there. I don't know if that's a good thing, though.
I don't know. I think all mine were upsets.
You had like 3.
No,
I only had 2.
No, I'm saying the ones that we disagreed on were upsets.
Yeah, because you took Raiders and
Cardinals, Steelers, Carolina.
Steelers aren't the underdog. Steelers favorite.
No, I'm saying those are the ones we
Got it.
differentiate on. Yeah.
Well, the one we really care about is the one happening at Acrisure Stadium.
Heinz Field.
You guys are a bunch of corporate sellouts. I don't know what to tell you.
Heinz Field.
You got any predictions on the game for Packers Steelers that, someone you think is going to go off?
Actually, Jaylen Warren. I know you like parlays. Spam him on your parlays because he's going over.
Yards, touchdowns,
everything.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm just starting him in fantasy, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good to know.
No, yeah, Jaylen Warren. I don't know. I'm just excited to sit there and talk shit to you the whole time. And
so I'm going to be this weekend. I'm be visiting my sister in Ohio, which is about an hour from Pittsburgh. So thinking about driving over to Pittsburgh to just like be outside the stadium and whatnot. So if you talk shit to me, then I will have already heard it from everyone around me. So
that's true. I mean, that'd be pretty dope. Why don't you just buy a ticket and go inside?
We'll see. We shall see. Pretty cheap. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. They weren't cheap when they were in Lambeau a couple years ago when we went.
I know.
Yeah. NFL tickets. If you watch historic teams and good teams, they're not cheap. They are not cheap. But that's a wrap on our Super Bowl 45 episode. Right, Drake?
Right.
But we'll see how the Super Bowl
rematch goes. Why do you
gotta
talk about Super Bowl 45?
It's the last one we were in.
You.
It's the last one you were in. It's the last one we were
Both
in.
Of us.
It's the last time someone in the NFC North made the Super Bowl. Like, I care about it. But in all seriousness, though, big game this week for both of us. We need it.
Both need to win. I wouldn't say it's a big game because they both stink, but they both need to win. So
I didn't say good game.
Yeah.
Important game.
Yeah. It's important. It's not going to be a good game. It might be a good game because
sneaky good.
Yeah, it might be. I'm hoping so. Like 34-26 type of game would be just awesome.
Whoa. Which of our offenses got a new coordinator while we were doing this episode? Like, come on.
Not us, that's for sure.
No, not us either. Well, Drake, that's a wrap. So glad that we got back on the saddle for this big matchup this week, and glad to have everyone listening here. But again, make sure to give us a follow or check us out on Instagram, YouTube, or Spotify at Mad Talk Sports. But you will see Drake and I again next week.